So Brandon and Casey, I wanted to bring you guys on too. I know you've, got heavy hearts today, and wanted to bring you guys on and talk a few minutes, and everybody out there know we're preparing a real celebration of Jimmy spilled entering his life next week. So stay tuned. But we wanted to acknowledge and wanted to have the founders on for a couple minutes to speak to the legacy of who Jimmy is.
Yeah, thanks, Todd.
Yeah, man.
Definitely heavy hearts. And, I think it's also safe to say that Jimmy's in a better place, and Jimmy is thankfully out of pain. And I think the last, not really only years, but I think certainly this last months and last days were really, really hard on Jimmy, on his body, and on because of that, on his friends and his family. And so many people stepped up in such an amazing way for Jimmy, that we owe so much gratitude to. Casey, you and I were talking about this yesterday, that we can only hope to make an impact on people the way that Jimmy did, to have people surrounding us when that time comes that would take care of him the way that Jimmy's friends and family took care of him, from all the people that had an opportunity to see him in person and say goodbye, be it in North Carolina or Arizona or Florida, to just everything I've heard about from Brian Delaney, Edward Pritchett, and I don't want to start naming names because everybody did so much for Jimmy. And Jimmy was, he did so much for everybody. And I think I know we're going to honor him a lot more next week, because we wanted to give people an opportunity to be on here and speak that don't have that opportunity to today. But I think the bottom line is, he was for 3 years, and for as long as we've known Jimmy, obviously it's made a huge impact on all of us personally, even. But for the last 3 years, the example that he set, continuing to pour into people and build his business when he didn't feel like it, he didn't have the energy to do it, he was in pain. So many people, I think, would have given up, would have not continued to do what he did. And I think that speaks volumes to the man that Jimmy was, to the character that he had. And he's going to be missed. You said it, buddy. It's a great call today, because Jimmy was the only agent in the company's history that won not only multiple producers contests, but also multiple builders contests. And he was such a competitive guy. He was not going to get beat. And so I think it's perfect to talk about this today, because we are right in the middle of a contest, and Jimmy really understood kind of what those contests did for him and what it meant for him. It's funny to think back to the first one that he ever won. I'm looking at these pictures on the screen. Had Jimmy not won that contest, Jimmy wouldn't be in these pictures with those beautiful, beautiful ladies there. Because he won a trip, and on that trip is where he met Cynthia, came back and got married. And that's such a cool story. But it's really more about the person that you become when you push yourself and when you stretch yourself, and the new I guess the new peaks that you can see for yourself, the new standard that you set for yourself. That's what Jimmy really, really got and understood. And we laugh about it all the time, Casey. He was probably the worst agent coming in that we knew at the time. He's been the first to tell you this. He was absolutely awful. And he sent me a text over the weekend that just, was kind of laughing in his way about the idea that he almost quit because of that. So not only does he deserve a lot of credit for that, but I think his leadership with Brian and with Edward and everybody on that team that really poured into him to let him build something like this that's going to go on forever, and that's it's a good reminder that that's really what we're all kind of fighting for, is to build something that that outlasts all of us, so that our families, as you can see, Jimmy's right here, our families can continue to thrive, at least in that sense.
Yep.
You can't fill that hole, but you can at least not have to worry about things financially. And that's a big thing to think about when you're going through something like this. So
Yep.
good to you, Jimmy.
Well said, man. Very well said. Going to be very missed.
Yep.
He was, you're right, man. He showed us very early on that he was a fighter, from going from the suckiest agent award to the Champions Cup award with winning that trip. And, he really packed it in there for 3.5 years when he found out the news that, I think they were giving him 6 months to live, and man, how do you kind of get through that mentally like Jimmy did? How is someone that strong, to take that news and just rally and start to shape their life in such an intentional way, to pack in what would probably take most people 15, 20 years or a lifetime to pack in what Jimmy packed in 3.5 years, from how he cultivated relationships to how he went about setting himself up and his business up from a legacy standpoint, something that's going to last, both from an impact in people's lives, but also financial impact.
Yeah.
How much he was able to travel and pack in. And I mean, just went, did that big Africa trip and went on safari, and he just absolutely fought his way through, like, packing in some real intentional living, which I'm, so grateful that he had the strength and the fight to be able to do that. Not a lot of people, get to make that choice, or maybe have the strength and the mindset to allow themselves to really play hard like that, like he did. So I'm just, man, he was from very early on for me, he was one of those guys that you always just wanted in the room, because you knew if Jimmy were in the room, no matter what the mood was, it was probably going to be fun. Somebody was going to be cracking a joke. Somebody was going to be playing a prank. And he just way of kind of being a hooligan and lighting and just kind of light.
That's the word that always comes to mind to me.
Yes.
Like such a fun loving. You can tell, he was the type of person that grew up with a lot of brothers and sisters, because he just knew how to kind of be in a group of people and kind of, rile people up a little bit. And I always loved his energy, because I always like to have fun anywhere I am. And so I knew that anytime Jimmy was going to be present in the room, that meant fun was going to be there, So I'm looking forward to celebrating Jimmy next week with everyone.
It's really good timing too, Casey. Next week, don't forget, is next Wednesday night is our impact night, and I think it's just extremely fitting that we celebrate Jimmy on our national call next week, so that kind of goes with the theme of the day. Somebody that made such a tremendous impact, and we're going to be able to all pull together, hopefully as a company and as a team and as a family, to make a huge impact on Make-A-Wish. So anyone that has not registered for next week's virtual event, please get registered today. Let's don't put it off to the last minute. We've got a great night lined up for you. And all the details are going to be not only emailed to you, but also in HQ, also on websites everywhere. So just make sure, leaders, especially all of you agency owners, make sure that obviously not only you're getting signed up, but all of your agents. This is a big part of who we are, is coming together and using all of our collective resources and energy to really make a positive impact. And we have a lot to live up to from what we accomplished last year. But I know that we can do it. And I would say not only to invite the agents, but any friends and family members that you have. And I think it's going to be a great way to continue to honor Jimmy, not only on the call next week, but all day next Wednesday. And I know a lot of people are going to want to come in and have some comments. And that was one of the main reasons I think that we wanted to give this a week, so that everybody that's been by Jimmy's side has a chance to kind of rest and recover a little bit themselves and come back and speak to him.
Yep.
I think the story, Casey, what you said, so powerful. But to me, what always really summed up Jimmy was, we joke about how bad he was, but as bad as he was in the beginning, his commitment was even greater. When you think, like, if you're new on this call, he was so bad on the phones that he had to quit dialing and he went door knocking. How many of you, how many of you give up if you can't set an appointment after you've dialed 50 times? Or thought it's just not my week, or a bad batch of leads, or this isn't my business. He was so committed that even though the phones didn't work, he wasn't quitting. He just went door knocking. And that, to me, it always speaks to me to everything it was about.
People are going to get on this call for the rest of today, and they're going to pour into you on what it takes to win a contest. And I know Jimmy's not here to say this, but I want to speak to what you're talking about, because that first contest that Jimmy won, first off, we joke around, he was terrible. He was not good on the phones. People would hang up on him before he even got started. He came from a completely different industry. He dug in and got good at it, got progressively better. Went to conference. The week after conference, he wrote more in that 1 week than he had in the previous 2 months combined, because of what he learned there. So it kind of speaks to the importance of bettering yourself by attending one of the conferences. But then that first contest that he won, Jimmy was living here in Asheville, North Carolina, and everybody knows there's only so many people in Asheville, North Carolina, and there were already a lot of agents and soon to be agency owners from Pritchett and Blaney and Griff and all these other people. Jimmy was getting in his car and driving sometimes 13, 14 hours away. He'd go down to South Florida, he'd sleep in his car for 2 or 3 nights. And I can remember talking to him about that and him saying, I'm going to win this contest. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to get everything I got. He gave it everything he got. He won that contest. And then we used to joke about it after this, and we'd say, what does winning a contest actually do for you? Now, results may vary, but for Jimmy, it completely shaped the rest of his life, because he got to go somewhere. He chose to go somewhere in Brazil, met his to-be wife after that. But when he won that contest, afterwards, he was never the same person. It was a straight upward trajectory in his business for the rest of his life. Not only for the few years right after that conference, but for even the few years after he got his diagnosis. And there's nothing better, I think, that can be said than that is the ultimate, in my mind, excuse remover. If you think you're having a bad day, if you think you're upset because somebody tells you no, were you willing to drive 15 hours and sleep in your car to win? Were you willing to get on conference calls and pour into your team while you were getting blood transfusions, while you were getting all of these different treatments that would wipe out most people from an energy standpoint? I think that the gift that Jimmy's giving everyone today is the realization of just how tough you can be. And when you are, and when you make that commitment to yourself, what kind of impact it can have on the rest of your life. And that's a legacy that I think will never go away. Obviously all the people that he brought along with him, the agency owners that were created in his team, the producers that only maybe got to know Jimmy for a month or 2 months before today, all those things will continue to live on, obviously. But man, the character that guy had, the strength that he had, the toughness, and the desire to compete and to win. If you can show up in this contest with an ounce of that, you're going to have a chance to win something. And if you win something, maybe it has an impact on the rest of your life like it had Jimmy's. Now, if you're already married, maybe it'll have a different impact, so you don't go on vacation and come home with another partner or spouse. But
well, and like we said too, like last couple of weeks ago when we were talking about this, everyone that competes is going to win something, and arguably the thing that Jimmy won the most in a lot of ways was the habits that he created in the process, getting uncomfortable, getting in those situations, it is out of your comfort zone, and kind of living in that world for a little bit. That those habits that he created in that contest, whether he had actually won the prize or not, the journey he had to go through to win was the actual prize, and that's what a lot of people, need to think about when you approach a contest like we're talking about too, is that, the habits that you're going to create by just competing in something like this that's what I think, all of us have gone through in this business for the most part, is just developing better habits, better work habits, whether it's working harder or smarter or a combination of both, like doing things that are outside of your comfort zone for long enough to where it's like, okay, well, that's a little bit of the new standard now. I remember when I first started in this business, you couldn't get me to work more than 20 hours a week. I was really upset if I was working more than 20 hours a week, and you put in a 25 or a 30 out, and you start to kind of bend yourself a little bit, and you start to realize, this is what it's going to take for me to actually achieve what I want to achieve. And so I think, everyone putting on their Jimmy Spilldinner hat right now, thinking about how Jimmy performed and how Jimmy went about stuff like this is good timing for what we got coming up too. But
yeah, well said, man. I know you and I've got to jump back in. So
yep.
Mr. Spivey, Mr. Williamson, I know there'll be more clarity coming on the Make-A-Wish Impact Day later after you go over some numbers. I know Whit's going to be on to join, but I would like to just personally ask everyone during today's call, if you're listening in from the road, if you have to pull over, whatever to do, go ahead and get registered for this event. Like I said, this is one of the most important events that we have every year. It's a virtual event. I know some of you may not feel like you have much to give, but trust me, you got something to give. And there are a lot of people out there, a lot of families out there, a lot of children out there that little bit that you can give is going to go a long way. And that's what, being able to kind of come together and make an impact like it's a big part of what makes us who we are. It's a big part of what makes Quality and Symmetry exactly who we are. So I would just personally, Casey, and I would like to ask you, get registered for that. Make plans to be with us next Wednesday night. We promise you won't regret it. It'll be one of the most special nights that you've had all year. So with that, over to you, Mr. Spivey.
Hey, and also are getting ready to hit leaderboards, but did just want to say, proud of everyone out there that went out there last week and, help families. Like we're in the midst of the biggest couple months we've ever had as a company, by a long shot. And, we still, looking at all the graphs and the data and everything that we have, we still feel like we're just barely scratching the surface on the growth that's getting ready to come. So just want to remind everyone of where we are in the stream of time as it relates to the year. You want to set yourself up for a good 2022. That means we do not limp through the end of the year. This is where we historically, some of our biggest months have been October, November, December. If you look back at our graphs. So this is a time of year when everyone kind of needs to be a little bit more intentional about what their 2022 is going to look like to kick things off, and understanding that in a business like this, and any business, especially if you're 1099, if you really want to kick the year off strong, you should be working on that at the latest, in October, November, December. Those who think, well, January 1st, I'm going to hit the ground running. It doesn't work like that. Now's the time to be leaning into things, capitalizing and kind of piggybacking on the momentum and the energy that the company is spinning into right now. So just congrats for the success everyone's out there having personally on your teams. Let's keep the pedal to the metal, and set ourselves up for a rock star of a 2022, and then head into conference in February on the biggest high we've ever been on. That's the game. That's the name of the game, right?
Yep.
Go.
You said it, man.
All right,
Good.
leaderboard.
Appreciate you, Casey and Brandon and Pope and all of our founders and all the hard work. And let's get it fired back up, guys. I know Jimmy would want us to. And just thinking about going through the data for the past couple of weeks, guys, one of the things I was most excited about was we all know that the final week of a month is typically the largest turn-in week of the month. Everybody's gunning for those promotions. Everybody's doing last minute activity. The coolest thing for me was this past week in APV and submit, number of new riders, number of unique riders, the gap between the first week of November and the last week of October was very minimum. What does that tell me? It tells me that we're getting more intentional. We're getting more focused on consistency. We're getting more riders to consistently show up on a weekly basis. A lot of that is grounded in the leadership that you guys are providing. The slingshot bonus is absolutely working and impacting lives. So, guys, there's really cool things happening. We used to get excited about breaking a $3 million record for a week. Guys, we smashed $3 million for the last 5-6 weeks running. It's like new goals now. Now we're on to 4. So this contest is a great way to do it. Mr. Purdy down there, advisory board member, senior partner. He's been so instrumental. For those of you that just know Purdy as a beautiful face and the voice of a radio star, what you might not know is before Purdy was an insurance mogul, he was an agent. He was a prolific one. He's often referred to around here by Brandon and Casey as one of the best insurance agents that we've ever had come through the doors at Symmetry back in his time. So he knows what it's like to be a participant. He knows what it's like to write business. He knows what it's like to build a massive team and motivate them to compete. So Kevin, tell us a little bit about your panel and what we're going to be talking about today, bro.
Hey, thanks for having me, Todd, Brian. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Symmetry. Appreciate being on this call. Looking forward to the call. Our hearts go out to the Spelldenner family and, all your team and your agency and everybody here at Symmetry. Jimmy definitely rattled the cage around here, and we all loved it. And we definitely grew from having Jimmy in our lives and in our businesses. And we're going to do you right, Jimmy, this call and going forward here. Kevin Purdy here, direct to Linwood, Watkins, Symmetry. Grateful for Casey and Brandon and Brian sharing this awesome opportunity with all of us here to grow and expand and really make an impact. So really grateful. Super excited about this Zoom call today. I mean, you talk about talent, Brian, Todd, these folks, I was like a reporter. I called every one of these people. Some were tougher. So I'm knowing about their schedules, like how protective they are of their schedules. But I was trying to put on my, reporter hat, and I talked with pretty much every one of these people for about 15, 20 minutes, getting into the mindset and their attitudes and their work ethic, as far as what does it take to really earn these contests and how did that impact their careers. And we're really going to careers here at Symmetry and really going to dive deep. But we have Managing Vice President Scott Summers joining us. Agency owner Haider Istanbouli. Just saw him a minute ago on the builders call. Good job there, Haider. Agency owner Deb Jr. Key leader Harrison Zipkin. Team leader Kimberly Ruiz, and producer Eleanor Jansen. So we've covered a scope from growing up that team leader to from producer all the way up to managing VP. And you're going to see so many similarities and what have really made these people excel here at Symmetry fast too. Majority, all these people started last year in 2020. So excited to really get in depth with these folks and take their knowledge of what it's going to take to win a Champions Cup, head to Costa Rica, and come into conference in Denver, February 3rd and 4th there on fire, just fired up. So,
And I love it,
so we
Purdy.
got-
I appreciate it, buddy. And nobody better to host that panel than you, not only for your natural hosting skills, but just your knowledge of the industry from as a whole and your whole life experience. So we appreciate you doing this, Purdy. And we'll hit the leaderboards, guys. I'm going to let B-Dubs. He has volunteered. I think he volunteered to be a nice, swell guy to do the leaderboards and read the names. Because as you know, as a true Alabamian, I'm not the best at reading everybody's name. But secretly, because Brian Williamson is so intelligent, I know what he's doing. He wants to do the leaderboards because he and Brandon don't like it when I read off all top 5 finishers. Now, I know Brandon asked you all in the chat a couple weeks ago if he should just read the top 2, top 3. Should we read all top 5? And I know it's kind of split 50-50, but you're not pulling one over on me, B-Dubs.
Very well. Very well. Well, thank you for the kind introduction and informing me that I've volunteered to read the leaderboards. But let me say one thing before I read them. Man, commit to applying what this panel is about to reveal to you, because when you get the opportunity, I love this topic. So kudos to whoever picked this topic. Purdy is an excellent facilitator as well. So Kevin, really looking forward to that. But this is one of those opportunities where do you get to learn the best practices of how to win a contest from people who've been there, done that. So super excited for every level represented. And I want to just say to everybody, commit right now to already applying what they're about to tell you, because it's going to help you go the next level. Now let's get on these leaderboards. And I'm ready, Spivey. You just click away. Look at that. Greg Steiskell, Christian Thomas. Look at me, starting with number 5. Samuel Espinal, Jeff Pope, and Tina Brass are the top 10 new writers. Look at that, 74-30. Excellent week,
nice.
Tina. And to
yeah,
all.
But B-Dubs, you know, we got to, and Casey, always try to guess what the former occupation was of the top new writers. So what you got? What did Tina Brass do before Symmetry?
I you know what? No, I'm not going there. No.
I'm going with her family owned the largest tuba manufacturing.
See, that's why. Just go to the next slide, please. Sorry, Tina.
Aren't you a Marine, Brian? What do you mean? You're scared?
No. I'm not going there. I'm holding the line. It's because I'm a Marine. I'm holding the line. Keep going. We got Diedrich Robinson, James Craig, top 10 producers in APV, Lynn Ostergaard, Sarah Tubbs, and Eric Gurr. 20K week for Eric. Congratulations. All right, top 10 producers in app count. Come on. James Satterfield, Eric Gurr, and Monique Alraoui. Congratulations to you all. MedSup, Paul Angel, and Luis Gamble, Trey Benton, Narissa Jimenez for the top 5 disability income producers. Bravo. You're not celebrating. You're not like, you know, I'm looking for that wingman to provide a little.
Well, a wingman would be about a partnership. You and Brandon have drawn a hard battle about my emotions and wanting to read everybody's name. So you're on your own, bro. You do you. We'll see what the people want after you do it your style.
All right. I went there. I mean, I was including others like Christopher Menifee, Frank Brennis. Great job, IUL producers. Matthew Gormley, Jennifer Myrick, and sorry, I couldn't say Wael Ali, $35,700. Excellent.
Nicely done, Ali.
Yeah. All right, Mike and Jennifer Colburn. Hey guys, congratulations. Number 3, Kristen Tasker 2, and Emily Livio with $206,487. Bravo.
Well done, annuity producers.
You gave me a week here. This is tough. Marilu Sakuchi, Wayne Simone, and Brick Bradford for the top 5 DFL producers. Man, I know the DFL engine has left the station all of you that are writing in the DFL space, unbelievable results that we're seeing there. Great job to our resident Resma. And gosh, any
Absolutely.
comments on that DFL world?
Yeah, man. So guys, last week we had a all-time record for DFL production. And so far this week, B-dubs, it's only Wednesday. We've already tied the record from last week. 2 more days of turn in, dude. Debt-free life's on fire. Mike Resma and team, and all of you lovely agents that participate in protecting families through this product portfolio. Guys, absolutely, Brian, you nailed it. The train has left the station. This thing is about to take over. I know when we originally launched Debt-Free Life, you heard Brandon and Casey and Pope talk about, they foresaw a future where we would be doing as much debt-free life as we would in mortgage protection. And I can tell you guys, based on the forecast that I've seen and the numbers behind the scenes of where this trajectory is going, we're going to get there. We're going to get there in the next couple of years. So stay tuned. If you're an agent out there wondering about debt-free life, get with your upline. It's not for everybody. You need to make sure that it's the right time in your business, but reach out, get a part of debt-free life if it's in the right time frame for you.
Excellent. Total recruits week to date, Ashley Tarr, Scott Forehand, and Mark Newbauer on that top base shop recruits. Mark's been slaying it. And we've got on the direct, we got Sean Shannon, all-star, Chris Cook, all-star, and Jacob Pogue, all-star. Unbelievable with 34.
Roster of all-stars. Mark's on fire, man. Mark fires me up. I got to spend some time and get to know Mark a little bit better in the last few months, and consider me champion number or fan number 1 of the Mark Newbauer Club.
Excellent. Licensed recruits, we got Grayson Shane Webb. Hey guys, 5, wonderful. Ashley Tarr and Scott Forehand. And for the directs, we got Chris Cook, Jacob Pogue, and Sir Edward Pritchett of the Round Table. With 13.
Constantly on the leaderboards. Grayson Shane, I owe you a phone call. I hadn't forgot you. Great job, Scott and Ashley.
And top base shop new writers week to date, Larry Grossman, Eric Ondrick, and Andrew Jimenez. And on the directs, Marshall Whalen, Miranda Martin, and Sir Jacob Pogue of the Square Table.
Well done.
I'm gonna pass the SNOS over to you. Can I do that? The SN.
Bring it on, buddy.
Seasoned new.
We can end our fake battle. We can.
Yeah.
You know I love you. So seasoned new agents: Adam Weaver, Alyssa Vega, Daryl Morgan, Gregory Steiskal, Jason Salter, Justin Carrington, that a buddy Justin. Logan Moore, Mackenzie Hensley, Megan Antis, Melanie Balog, Melissa Perner, Paul Tiblier, Precious Northern, great name. Holy cow. Precious Northern, love it. And Tina Brass, we saw her earlier.
Yeah.
Top new writer, also seasoned new agent. That's one way to do it, B-dubs. Just
14.
come in your first week and become a seasoned new agent.
Yeah, we love 14 SNOS. Seasoned new agents, and man, this has been a consistent, great number. Great work to all those mentoring and activating agents and engaging agents. So, bravo.
Absolutely. The name in the parentheses, guys, just as important. The mentors that are focusing on seasoned new agents understand math. They understand how agents respond and the need to get people early wins. These are the people that are growing, that are building the right way. Congratulations. If you're new out there and you're wondering what a seasoned new agent is, it means that you've gotten 6 applications on clients within your first 6 weeks of joining the company. Statistics show that it's like almost 80% greater that you will still be with us in a year and making a healthy income if you become a seasoned new agent. So stay on it.
Outstanding. Weekly leaderboards for key leaders. We got Richard Osterhout, Douglas Dorr, and Julie Mai. AOs, we've got Jerry Choate, Samuel Fine, and numero uno. Drum roll, please. Eric Gurr with the killer week, popping up all sorts of places. For agency directors, Derek Brock, Brian and Rachel Jernigan, and Larry Nan Griffin. And for RAD's regional agency directors, Trey Alderson Cloutier, Tony Cap, the Godfather, and Eileen Balmer just cranking it out at the top of the charts. Managing Vice President Scott Summers, Batman, and George and Janet Matthews. All right.
On fire. On fire.
That was a term of endearment. I just again acquiesce that, I mean, I've never seen Marlon and Batman in the same room. And even though I think I'm Batman, we're good. And
me and Faulkner had a good call last week. Faulkner's so good to reach out and just love and lift up your soul. And
yeah,
anyways, we were kicking around some future speech content stuff, and we're tinkering around with this idea, B-dubs, of God loves a point guard.
Mm.
The one willing to serve and set up others to be successful.
Mm.
So stay tuned, Marlon. Hate I blew your cover, but look forward to a new speech from Marlon.
Yeah, so meaningful to see Jimmy up here, his legacy and the team just continuing to perform. And obviously in the last couple of weeks with where he was at, I mean, just unbelievable to see that. And number one, Kyle and Lisa Kimbrell, all stars, high performing peeps. Excellent. Executive Vice President, Mr. Stubbs, Miranda Martin, and Carl Miller. Man, that guy, love what he's done working on himself.
Hard to have a bad day around Carl Miller.
Yeah, it is. Carl Miller, gosh, this goes back a while now, but he invested in himself in such a way that in terms of transformation of someone who has really learned, I want to say humility, but also listening well to others and really being attentive and putting others first and not being so, again, those creative connectors, if you know our 5 voices, we either have brevity or depth in communication, and they tend to be depth communicators, but Carl's really learned to listen well and serve people well through his words. Associate partner, Ashley Tarr, Jacob Pogue, and Lynn Watkins. Oh, I actually owe Lynn a text myself. So
boom. Well done.
Yeah. Senior partners, we have the Smith Agency. Got to be with Brad last night, so good to see you. Danny Young and Sir Edward Pritchett over the mill.
$1 million.
Million. And Marshall Whalen, just under 1 million, but also outstanding week for Marshall.
Well done. And got to hang out with a couple of Delaney's top leaders in his organization, and Tim Pinso and Ian last night was really special. And if you've not witnessed 2 really close friends that are incapable of saying anything nice to each other, you need to buy a ticket to that show and go to dinner with Ian and Tim.
Or function at a decibel level under outrageously loud. Like Ian Graham is.
I don't recommend a 5-star restaurant for that show.
No, he's like a college football level, like pumped up all the time, loud, great dude.
Such a good time and such great leadership coming out of Delaney's organization as always.
Yeah. You want to take a couple, Spivey? I'm gonna
for sure, man. Looking at the weekly leaderboards for directs, we got Mr. Now I gotta move my thing. Marshall Whalen, number 5, Scott Mink, Kevin Purdy on the call today. Teach Me How to Pogie, and the man, the myth, the legend, Edward Pritchett coming in at first. I'm not going to even tell you who number 1 in the base shop. Who do you think it would be, B-dubs?
Number 1 base shop could be Melissa Weigel, could be Pritchett.
Look at that, guys.
Look at that.
Number 1 direct, also biggest base shop. The guy understands how to fundamentally build a business, properly fund a business, how to make a business extremely profitable, invest in future leaders. So congratulations to Jeremy, Tony, Joshua, Ben, and always Mr. Pritchett. All right, guys, we know we got the Champions Cup. We are up and running. And as you see right now on my screen, you're going to see something that says points. Well, remember, this is all about a issue paid, net placed type contest. So what really comes down and what's going to matter in the end is not until we get the monthly numbers and settle up on what actually went issue paid. So what you're going to see right now as far as points is all about building up what we can track on a weekly basis to give us all a barometer of where we're at. And so a lot of this is going to be based on submit right now. But keep in mind, just because you win the submit race does not mean you're going to win the contest. So let's take a look at this, B-dubs.
Let's go.
Hang on a second.
I'm looking.
I can't actually read anything because my little controls on share my screen are blocking.
We've got a ghost at number 4, ghost at number 3, ghost at number 2. Who are you going to call?
Boom. Victoria W, Sarah T in the agent field, Billy G, and there we go again. YL.
Yeah.
Purdy, help me out. How would you pronounce this?
Walea.
Walea. Like it. Of course, it sounds better coming out of your mouth. Great job, field producers. Top 10 direct so far. Number 5, Marshall. Number 4, Scott Mink. Number 3, Kevin Purdy. 2, Jacob Poe.
PPP.
Number 1, Mr. Pritchett.
Pritchett, Pogue, Purdy.
Look at that. Tight race, too.
Many points.
Man, top 10 corporate producers. Welcome to the Leaderboards corporate. Let's go. We got Andy S, number 5, number 4, Chad B P. That's a great name.
Yeah.
Number 3, Miss Margaret. Number 2, Jennifer S, and number 1, Monique. Hear a lot about Miss Monique. Congratulations, off to a great start. Appreciate all our corporate partners, guys. We're about to get a lot more integrated. We're about to be sharing the stage, sharing leaderboards, sharing conference calls. You're going to get to all meet and mingle at in Denver. Everybody on the corporate side, if you haven't registered for conference, get that done button. We need to see you there. We need to love and support you and let you know that we all appreciate it, and just spend that time bonding together. So looking forward to it. You want to take the announcements?
I do want to take the announcements because this first one is been months in the works, but on Monday, November 15th, you're going to get an email, a survey link from this email address. It's reply@orgacuity.com. This is for our annual Quality People Insights survey. Please complete this by the end of the day on Friday, November 19th. Now, let me just say one thing about this. This is a way, way bigger deal than just filling out a survey. This survey is actually going to provide data for our Quality People Insights platform, which managers with at least 5 agents or more will get access to your own people analytics dashboard. It's an investment the company's making in you as leaders, and I'll have a lot more to say about it. But in the meantime, we would love for you to take the time to fill that out. And when you do fill it out, it's going to have the language of quality in it. But for you that as a Symmetry agent, we of course want you to be thinking about your experience in the field as a field agent with your manager in view. And so it'll be all clear step by step. And I'm going to meet with our 120s today just to talk a little bit more about this. But very important, and really excited for what's on the back side of that for you and for our organization to really be able to get visibility on hidden dynamics like engagement and leadership and purpose and things that really are going to be able to be crosswalked with business outcomes, and we can really see what's in the way of your agency growing. So selfishly, I took a couple minutes there. All these announcements are important. I'm going to go on to number 2.
I don't think it's selfish at all, buddy, because I don't think, we were talking about this earlier, like when you guys see what Brian Williamson and his team have been working on and putting together, and what might seem like an email for a survey, or please get in some feedback, or guys, you have no idea the type of tools he's about to unleash on this organization. It is going to be top shelf, nobody in the country like it, ability for us all to know ourselves, to lead ourselves in a way that is absolutely previously thought to be not possible. So B-Dubs, man, appreciate your work on that. And I can't wait till it's all rolled out and everybody can actually sit down and see the full scope of how cool this thing's about to be.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yep, we're excited. This is one of 2 enormous rollouts that we're doing in the next within the next 6 months, we'll say, even before, but I'm going to give myself a little bandwidth. All right, number 2, we are overhauling our Quality Agent Events app. Unfortunately, that means you will not be able to log in right now. Not to worry. We will have the new app up and running soon, and we'll be able to do more than ever. So excited what's going on with events, with staffing up in that area, with Ethan Drum and with Mike Rummy, our resident all-star, working on that. Love that. We finished our site visit to Denver last week, and this is going to be the biggest and best conference we've ever had. Make sure to get your tickets as soon as possible or assign them if you have an owner's pack to save your spot. Hotel rooms are going fast, so make sure to reserve yours now. There's some room blocks available. And Doug, I see you popping on. Anything about that one?
No,
I got him coming on about leads, but one thing before we switch, guys, Joe Dindy is not an easily excitable person. If you've ever met Joe Dindy, he's gonna stay right here, level emotionally all times. He called me from Denver, absolutely blown away, very emotional about what it was like to be a part of this company and to know that we're about to rock a venue that is this nice, this large, and all the capabilities that we're going to be able to do to make this conference bigger and better than ever. And when I see Joe Dindy get emotional and excited, it's legit. It's going to be awesome.
I was going to share. I've started to see some of the workups and plans come through, and oh boy, howdy, it looks awesome. I have not had the chance to go yet, but it's going to be exciting, possibly even intimidating to stand up there. We'll see. It's a big old room, and excited to see how many tickets are flying out the doors. Still plenty to be had. So as we mentioned, get on there, get your owner's packs, get your tickets reserved, and make your plans to get to Denver.
Absolutely. Doug, I asked you to come on, buddy, because we had a couple of questions from the field. Just looking for some clarity. Man, the leads department's been killing it. We've been transforming the way we do business, making more and more leads available, different types of leads, and making them available faster so that we can even improve our close ratios by getting to clients sooner. So I know with all that going on, there's a lot of moving parts. And I just wanted to ask you to come on, give us a quick update on maybe availability for leads and times around that and communication plans your team's working on.
Absolutely. Yep. I failed at my job to get it on the announcements here. So happy to show up and walk you through it. So yeah, we've last week implemented a new plan where we're opening up inventory purchases for a lot more agents. And the questions started to come through. Well, sometimes I look and there's no leads, and sometimes I look and there's a lot of leads. That's because, currently the way our process works is we pull back our inventory every morning to do allocations. And so those are hidden from view. Typically, they get republished to inventory about 1 p.m. Eastern time. That is not, depending on how much work there is and their flow in the department, it could be a little earlier, it could be a little later. So because we cannot commit to a specific time, what we are going to do is we will push out a notification in HQ every day when inventory is published and ready for purchase. We're also working on a secondary system that's going to send out text messages and emails. We will be emailing agency owners to notify you every day of when those leads are available. So you can also notify agents. And then as we continue to iterate and move the system, there will continue to be change as a part of that process, and we'll keep you up to speed as those changes come to light. But that's our goal: get the leads out and into an agent's hand and get that family protected as fast as possible. So agency owners out there, continue to work with our leads teams to focus on what you need to do to make that happen. As we all know in this business, there's a very strong and direct correlation between how fast we get them out and get them into your hands and how much insurance we're able to sell. That's what I got. Unless you got any other questions.
No, I appreciate you, Doug, and your team and all the work you do and constantly updating our processes and communication efforts. And, we just really appreciate you, bud.
Well, we appreciate everybody out there. Just get a little bit better every day. That's the goal.
Just sorry your Chicago Bears are so terrible.
I mean, they came back. And then
Hey, I'm not going to take that, even if I'm on the producer side of things. No. Don't leave my Bears alone. Those refs didn't do so hot.
We need to have some coaching here about accepting facts.
No, he's good. I respect the boldness.
Nice.
I love it. Yeah. All right, Mr. Spivey, back to you.
Yeah, man, appreciate you, buddy. So upcoming events, this Thursday, that'd be tomorrow. We are not having the carrier webinar due to the holiday observation. B-Dubs, you know anything about that holiday observation?
I do. It's Veterans Day.
Absolutely, man. Great deal of gratitude to you and all of our veterans out there.
That's right.
Our fellow Marine here, Mr. B Dub, served his country, and so grateful. Just seeing your post this morning on Facebook and your experience with that and how much that changed your life. And so very impactful to a lot of people, buddy, that you walked into that recruiter's office. And we appreciate all of our Marines and all of our service folks out there.
Absolutely. We got some great veterans in our organization.
Look at that. This Thursday, though, we do have a corporate overview hosted by Kevin Purdy and Ryan Miller. You know what? I mean, can you imagine there being more hilarity, emotions, and energy in a room than with Kevin Purdy and Ryan Miller rocking the mic?
Well,
What do you say,
Todd,
Purdy?
that's going to change, Todd, by the way.
Oh,
Yes, Ryan Miller is now going to be hosting tomorrow. The world famous associate partner. You want to take a guess who's going to be tiptoeing in and rocking it with me? Any ideas? Associate partner. Come on, quickly. 3.
associate partner. Scott Summers?
Nope, wrong. Not a partner yet. Soon to be though. Brian Williams, we'll go to you real quick. Who's going to be on the corporate overview tomorrow?
With you
Associate
guys?
partner.
I don't know. Marshall Whalen.
Superhero-esque. She had that nickname. She had a nickname back in the day when she was in the field.
Ashley Tarr?
There you go. Winner, winner.
The Terminator.
I pulled up HQ here at 5 guesses I could have made. I would have.
Yeah, I was.
I'm
answering
terrible with the knowing everybody's position within the promotion guidelines. So you had me at associate partner.
There you go.
Just for your knowledge, that's Ashley Tarr, Jacob Poe, Kishan Monteith, Lynn Watkins, and Ryan Miller.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, guys. That will be awesome. Love hearing from Ashley Tarr and such a beautiful story and so much gratitude I will always have to our Ashley Tarr and her team and what she did for me while I was in the field with Mr. Danny Young. So that'll be awesome. Great pick there, Mr. Purdy. Looking forward to that. Monday sales training is going to be hosted by agency owner Devin Jackson. It'll be a good one. And then debt-free living hosted by Mr. Resma. Guys, you heard Brandon and Casey. They asked for one favor, that we all log in and register for the Make-A-Wish event. I know Whit's going to be trying to join us. Her internet is always a little spotty where she's at. But Miss Whit, hopefully if you're out there. Nice. Guys, if you don't know Whit, she's the heart and soul to everything we do from a charity community impact. She does so much behind the scenes too at the office with organizational help and helping design org charts and put people in the right seats. But Miss Whit, I know all of that's great, but you don't care nearly as much as you do about this event and what we got coming up next Wednesday. So why do we register? Why do we attend? What kind of impact can we make?
Thanks, Todd. Yeah, so we're 1 week out and I'm super excited. This is my favorite event of the whole year. In years past when we were all together, we did Symmetry Challenge. This one is virtual like we did last year. And it made such a big impact and it went so well. We just felt like we had to do it virtually again so that so many of you could join in and be a part of it all across the country. So registration link is down here, event.gives/Quality Impact. And Brandon mentioned there was some confusion with some codes. Somebody was texting him. There's a box on there that says put in a code, but that is not required. So all you have to do is purchase your ticket for the event, and the raffle tickets are listed on there if you want to get some of those. And then on Thursday, or what's today, Wednesday, on Friday, our silent auction will go live. So that morning it'll go live and that'll run all the way up until the event. So you can start bidding on all kinds of amazing items on the silent auction. And then the day of the event is that wonderful, awesome live auction with our auctioneer, Ben, which when Brian started reading off the leaderboards, I was like, we should get Ben on to read off the leaderboards in that auctioneer voice and do it really fast, like I bet he would crush it.
That's a great idea.
You
That is
know?
fantastic. Nan would not if we could do the top 5. I bet he could do the top
Right, he would
10
just-
faster than I could do that.
He would just run through it. But definitely want you guys to get on and get registered. Like Brandon said, it's going to be even more special knowing that next Wednesday, we're also going to be honoring Jimmy. And, you know, he has made such an incredible impact in his community and obviously in this Symmetry Quality community. And I just think it's kind of cool that we're getting together on that day to celebrate him. And then obviously to give back, to Make-A-Wish to these kiddos who, you know, a lot of them are going through things that Jimmy went through as well. So please get registered. And another thing to know is, though this is a Symmetry and Quality event, we want you guys to share this with your friends and family. It's a great recruiting opportunity as well for folks to be able to see what our company is all about and the impact that we make and how important this is, that we have a special event just for impact each year. And so, you know, you get this out to folks and let them know, let them see, you know, how we do this and what, how important it is to us. So thank you. Please get
You
registered.
do amazing work, Whit. This is such a worthy cause. And I too encourage guys just to be emotional for a minute. Last year when we broke the record and we all had to jump in the pool and we were being filmed, like was some of the greatest happy tears I had seen. Brandon and Casey both cried like little babies. And it was just so cool to see founders that have changed financial futures for so many people and including themselves, but to see them get teary over watching a Brian Delaney and a Marshall Whalen battling it out to pay $10,000 to buy a 40-inch TV that they could get for $200 at Walmart, and to see the tears and emotion and how much that meant to them was everything. But I'll tell you personally, I went home that night and I was so jacked up and it was such a cool event to be a part of. And my wife was kind of troubled and I was like, "What's wrong, babe?" She's like, Landon had a kind of a rough night. And I was like, "Why? It was such a great event. Do you not watch on TV?" And she was like, "Yeah, he watched on TV, but he really wished he'd have known ahead of time so that he could have donated or he could have been there with you at the event." Mm-hmm. And it just made me remember like what we're doing and what we're the example we're setting, whether it's family or kids or whoever, like bring them in, make them a part of this, make this a big deal. As big of a deal as I make an Alabama football game, my kids should see me make a wish event, the impact event with Whit, twice as big as an Alabama football game, and realize the impact that could have on generations.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And you know, Todd, I've been here and I've been getting emails of people who are doing some smaller, safe watch parties together. And you know, that's a great way to do it, is to come together and bring the energy. And, you know, everything can be done on your phone. So you can be in a group and just be donating right there from your phone. So it's easy peasy, and love the idea of teams, you know, joining together on this.
All right. Love it. Appreciate your work, Whit, and all you do, and look forward to a big event next week. So
thank you.
Forgot, Whit.
Oh, look, yeah. This is one of the silent auction items that you can start bidding on, which is the lovely Symmetry Lake House, right? This is a big one. This one always does really well in our auctions. So definitely get on there and check it out. There's some other really cool things you're going to want to see.
Yeah. Lake house trips are a lot of fun. We just went down recently with Scott Mink's team, and Brandon and Casey were over there cooking up some 5-star steaks, and Casey was giving surfing lessons. Poor JPV pulled a hamstring on his 3rd attempt to get up and then still tried to get back out there, Purdy. He pulled his hamstring and refused to get in the boat, still wanted to give it another try. We had to pull him out of the water. But not just the beautiful lake house and the fun you have, guys, but I'm definitely myself and Brandon and Casey and many others try to get down there and hang out and spend time with the team. So awesome way. All right, guys, we got to get focused on conference. Everybody get booked. the amount of energy going towards this. B-Dubs has been leading the charge, working on the agenda. So many people helping them behind the scenes. But guys, this conference is going to be incredible. Do not miss out. Get everybody registered. Book your rooms now. This is going to be an event for the ages, and just the impact that it can have on you, your team, your new recruits. Phenomenal. Can't wait. Corporate sales team out there, we want to see you there. I'll come up in droves. Can't wait to hang out as one big family. So everybody get registered and hit that done button. We're gonna have an after party. Hey Dubs, were you in this meeting earlier?
No, I wasn't actually.
Yeah, so stay tuned for next week, more details to come. But guys, the after party, as you know, is always epic at conference. And so get prepared. This year, the after party theme is going to be Rock Your Decade, the Reimagine After Party.
Rock your decade, rock your decade.
It's going to be highly, highly, highly decorated, a very cool experience. If there is a decade, I believe, past 1920, it will be represented. So be thinking now about costumes and what you want to dress as, because you can dress in anything you'd like through any of your favorite decades. And we look forward to celebrating that. Ought to be a lot of fun. All right, Mr. Purdy.
That's right. I've been waiting for that moment. Time to pass the baton. With no further ado, let's get this wisdom downloaded into the agent life and see some life transformation. Thank you for the hard work you've put into it.
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks, fellas. Appreciate it. Good job there, Brian and Todd, and the whole Symmetry team here. Kevin, Purdy, hey now. Welcome.
Hey now.
Today. But we're fired up. We're going to power through it. That tough-blooded Maine, he grew up in Maine, Mr. Jimmy Speldenner would want us to power up. And so excited to be here, direct to Linwood walk-ins, direct to Symmetry. Fired up to be on this call. Here's one of the things I want you to do, right? Try to get your accent on. I want you, if you're a builder, if you want to build an agency, you got to be a promoter. So look, here it is, 2 o'clock. We're going to try to do this in about 35, 40 minutes. We got just all stars here. They're going to share what it's going to take to win. What's the mindset? What's the schedule? What's the activity? What's the communication look like? What's the investment? The how-tos from different walks of life, different experiences. And so right now, if you're a team leader, if you're just a brand new agent, you want to build a team, this is where you text your folks and say, hey man, get on this call. Are you on this call? This is good stuff. How to earn a contest, man. These people earn it. They're not throwing their names in a hat and pulling their name out saying, oh, congratulations. No, they've earned the right to be contest winners here in Symmetry. So real quick, unveil yourselves, you awesome all-star folks. We're going to go around the room real quick. We got a lot to cover, short time to get there. We're going to start with from kind of the most recent in the business, or from the been around here a little bit, down to our new people as far as on a title basis. That's how we kind of started out. But who you are, where you're from, what'd you do real quick before Symmetry, and who you're direct to, obviously. If we can do this real quick in about 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, that'd be awesome. We'll start with you, Scott Summers.
Hey, Kevin, Scott Summers, direct to Symmetry, and Kevin Purdy. So grateful to be so. And Kevin, I'd like to use my time really just to just say one quick thing about Jimmy Speldenner. And, it's perfect timing, because this call, I'm so grateful to Jimmy, because I probably wouldn't be on this panel if it were not for Jimmy on a call just like this. I came into the business in 2015, and I hope to pay this forward, because I heard him talking about what you heard Brandon talking about earlier, Jimmy sleeping in his car. I heard him talking that rags to riches story, and I was here listening to that. It was just so amazing. Jimmy was so good at complimenting, stopping what Kevin, you and I knew him, well, and he would stop what he was doing just to compliment you. He'd make way to you to compliment. And he was really so into being transparent with people. And he was always connected very well with his when he started with Symmetry and the trials and tribulations he went through, and he was so transparent. He always delivered that. And I said that in a text message, my last text message in February, just how grateful I am that he's so good at that. And I'm just hoping to channel my inner Jimmy today to be able to help you guys today in some way, shape, or form for this contest. I'm so honored to be on this panel as well with these awesome winners. So thank you very much, Kevin.
All right, kids. That's good. That's nice. We all love Jimmy. We're going to give lots of Jimmy peace and love. But we keep doing that, we're not going to be able to get through this, Scotty. All right. All right. So all right now, give a big heart to Jimmy right now. We got like 13,170 people want to learn how to earn a contest and go to Pura Vida, baby. Speaking of Pura Vida, Haider, let's go to you, man. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're all about.
Suburbs of Chicago, Illinois. Hierarchy is Marshall Wayland, Rob Puckett, Ryan Miller, Miranda Martin, and then directed to Dave Kushner. So that whole line going up. And yeah, happy to be here. Started October 6th of 2020. Yeah.
What did you do prior to Symmetry?
So I owned a school. So did that for about 10, 11 years. It was a franchise company. So, you know, part education, part sales, part, you know, running a team of 10, 15, 20 people.
Nice. School rocks, right? School rock. Let's go. So, kind of look a little Jack Black. What's that Hollywood guy you look like? I told you in Costa Rica, you reminded me of, what's his face? I forgot. Move on. We'll go.
We'll move on.
Go to Debbie Jr. Welcome to the call here, Debbie. Tell us about yourself.
Muted.
You're muted, Debbie.
There we go. All right.
Debbie, you've been married 28 years. Your husband, Adam, probably doesn't mind that once in a while that you just muted.
It's good. Hey. It's good. Yep. We live in Eagle, Idaho, right outside of Boise. And we've been involved in Symmetry. We started a year ago. I wrote my first policy October 5th. Background was, I guess you could say we're serial entrepreneurs. We've owned multiple traditional businesses. We were in the network marketing space for about a decade, had an organization of about 13,000. So we're familiar with sales and business, and zero background in insurance. So this was a whole new thing that way.
And you're an agency owner, right?
Right.
When did you hit agency owner?
July.
And you started in October of 20.
Uh-huh.
So great job. And Haider, you started what time in 20 last year?
Yep. October, same.
And you hit agency owner when?
July, same thing.
July. Great job. Great job.
It's basically the fastest way possible.
That's super. Let's go to team leader, key leader, Harrison Zipkin.
Hey guys, Diane Harrison. I'm Director Jamie Satterfield, Scott and Donna Forehand, George Janet Matthews, Kevin Purdy, all a part of the Lynn Watkins hierarchy, and blessed to be so. I was an investment banker. Before I came here, I was a turnaround specialist for equity funds and mezzanine funds, and I hail out of Philadelphia.
Nice, Harrison. Harrison, key leader. Let's go to Kimberly Ruiz. Did I get that right?
Yes. Hello, everybody. So blessed to be here. I am part, and I have to have it written up here, of the Prescott, Nadeau, Martin, Miller, Puckett, Whalen hierarchy. Prior to Symmetry, I had a vending machine company. Prior to that, accounting. And I'm here outside of DC in Virginia.
Awesome. Good stuff. Welcome to the call here. And last but not least, Eleanor Jansen, producer.
Hi guys, happy Wednesday. Eleanor Jansen, direct to my amazing mother-in-law, Susan Jansen, part of the Jordan Shank Master Agency, and direct to Ashley Tarr, who's direct to Symmetry. So a powerhouse of a team to be a part of for sure. I originally hail from the East Coast. I was born and raised in Maryland, but currently living my best life out here in San Diego, California with my husband who's in the Navy. Previously, I was an entrepreneur in the sales and operational consulting field for fee-for-service medical practices. So did that, had no background for this industry, but honestly, I found my forever home here. So couldn't be more blessed for the journey it took to get here.
Well, that's great. That's great. And Scott, back to you. What did you do prior to this?
I was in home improvement sales for 11 years and I had no insurance experience at all. Finally, I was plucked out of that industry from a good friend.
Cool. Well, everybody got to know about the folks on the panel here today. Everybody's earned a trip. So congratulations to Eleanor, Debbie, Haider, Kimberly, Harrison. From a producer side, you guys all earned the trip to Costa Rica. So that's just incredible. That's way to go. And I want to talk really, I know you guys are all building your team, spoken with you, but we have these big contests right here. We have the Champions Cup. We have the slingshot bonus. We have the carrier kickers, right? We have all that going on. We have conference coming up. So we hear a lot about promotion, promote, promote, promote. And so I'm not going to call out any names on this one, but we've all been guilty. I'll be the first to admit it. I've been guilty of sometimes not putting in, like, who's that dude as number one? Grr, right? Not putting enough grr in promoting. Because sometimes when you don't have your money, when you don't have your chips down on the table, you're not paying attention, right? And so when it comes to promotion and bringing in a new agent, if you want to build a team and you're trying to motivate and get people excited, how well, ask yourself as a leader, how well are you promoting the contest? How well do you know how to earn the contest? Here's the other thing. What is your belief that maybe you or your agents can earn that trip, win that trip? And so as agency owners, I've heard like 3 different stories from the folks on the screen here that I asked them, how did you know about the trip? Like, again, today, how did you know about Slingshot? How would you know about Champions Cup? How would you know about the carrier kickers? And interestingly, a couple of them said, you know what? I didn't know about the contest until I was like all of a sudden rolling down the hill and having success. So part of growing your team is like, you see that we just came off all the highlights here with Symmetry and what's the events, what's coming on. It's us as leaders. We have to make sure, how well are you communicating in your huddle ups one-on-one with your agents that they know they can earn a trip. And so that's really important to all of us getting there. So let's get right into this. Eleanor, start with you here. Tell us about, you mentioned you had no prior sales experience prior to Symmetry. You came in here and you said, listen, I'm goal oriented and I want to kind of earn this trip. We talk a lot around here about belief, and so often we hear building our teams from new people coming in, like, I don't have sales experience. And when I look at a contest to earn to Costa Rica, to earn these carrier tickets or kickers, people are like, no, I don't think that's me. How did you work on your belief to achieve that success really fast?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like for anyone coming in that's brand new, and not only, did I have a limited sales knowledge, I had probably even more so a limited financial knowledge, right? So it's a whole new product that we're even being educated on. I think really buying into, first of all, the simplicity and understanding that you can make it hard, you can make it easy. Making it easy means following the systems that are already put in place instead of trying to reinvent the wheel. And then anyone who is goal-oriented, being a hard worker is a great thing. Being a bull in a china shop can be a great thing, but being a hard worker that's intentional, that really strategizes and has a plan around their success, and then also a commitment of integrity to honor that schedule and honor that goal, was super foundational for me. And honestly, that really came from my coaches, Jordan and my mother-in-law, who are really my coaches on the field, so to speak, really laid down a framework and kind of showed me you can make this harder, make it easy for yourself. That was the first thing. And then also, I think when it came to looking to achieve the goal and I started kind of hitting certain wickets, I realized like, oh, I can do a lot more here. I can take advantage of a company reinvesting in my business because I'm brand new. What do I know? So really, honestly, taking it as a gift and receiving it as a gift and working hard for it, like, hey, I don't deserve this, but I'm going to go for it and see what comes up from it, was a really amazing thing to experience. But also just the structure that was also in place for me to do it really came from my team for sure.
Nice. And communication, Debbie, how well did communication play with your success here? Achieving, agency owner quickly, earning Costa Rica, that communication as far as in that belief, how was that for you guys?
I would say, it all came down to, we had incredible mentorship and coaching. We worked obviously directly with Matt and Brad Smith. So their communication with us, I would say it started there. Their communication with us was to let us know about the contest. And it was immediately just on the board, right? When it came to having those daily conversations with them, really leaning on that system of being uncomfortable, not knowing what I was doing, but being willing to lean into that, get the coaching that I needed so that I could write the proper types of policies. I could go through and make sure things were packaged correctly. There was a constant communication that was taking place every single day, daily activity. And like I said, that massive action, constant correction, and working with my coaches through that process. So I think Brad, one day, I think I called him like 22 times in one day.
So when you hear new agents say that, Debbie, like, I don't want to call you, you're busy, what is your advice to opening those channels of communication?
Well, it's absolutely about taking advantage of that. I mean, that's part of being coachable, right? It's being willing to reach out. It's being willing to get out of your comfort zone and ask for help. I'm not one that likes to ask for help, but I knew that I had to be coachable. I had to be humble enough to allow him to teach me and then just take a ton of notes and duplicate it, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's great. I think it's great. Open the doors, make the call, let the phone ring.
It's a good point. And going to you, Kim, you mentioned about, along these lines with communication that you reverse engineered how to get to earn these contests. Can you talk a little bit about, when you're talking about reverse engineering in that communication, how did that play out for your success early on here at Symmetry?
As far as family matters, is that?
Let's talk about, like, for example, you earned the carrier kicker for Foresters, and you placed 45K there. And you mentioned that you worked it back as far as what you needed to do from, an investment. So the next kind of topic I want to go into is reverse engineering. Is what type of resources did you start accumulating and working to get the production to meet the goals?
Sure. No, and that's super important as far as the investment. So I knew coming in, the business, my vending business was falling apart. So I had no plan B. So I knew that I had to come in and work the best investments to make this work for me and to get started quickly. And then also I knew Costa Rica was my goal. So what could I do to get there as fast as I can? So I know I started with the not 50 cent in Virginia, but the one up from that. And then I worked that really hard, and I kept telling my upline, I am going to move up to the best leads as quick as possible, because I know I want to be talking to people as quick as I can, and people that are looking for this more recently. So that's what I did, is I invested in the 5As or the A1s now. And then as soon as I could get to the A leads, I went there. So I started, I think we spoke around maybe 400 a week. And then I went up to 600 as quick as I could. So that way I could.
Your average is right around $600-700 now?
Yeah.
How about you, Debbie? What's your average lead investment per week?
We're at about 1,000 a week. Yeah.
And when you started out, what was it? Kim mentioned she kind of grew into it. Did you guys just jump in with that, or did you?
We just dove in foot, all feet first. They told us 10% of what you want your APV to be. We wanted our APV to be 10 grand a week. So we just said, you know what? It's our business. Well, if we've got to cut back somewhere else, we'll figure it out. But it's no different than opening a brick and mortar shop. You got to have something on the shelves.
Sure. And Eleanor, what's your average starting out? Just like Debbie there, and Kim, what's your average, and did you start out with and then grow to?
Yeah, so I started out with placing an order as soon as I could. This is my contracting came through. I think that was the very first thing that I did. And it was a non-negotiable for me that I wanted the return of my investment. So I was investing big, $600 to $700 a week to start, and then kind of going from there. And then once that turnaround comes in, you've quickly covered your cost, right? That's what I would tell people, yes, it is a lot of money to invest on a monthly basis, but the return, speaks for itself.
Yeah. Haider and Harrison, you guys have owned companies prior to coming into Symmetry here. So when, we have Debbie, she and her husband, Adam, had a company prior to this. Some people don't always have all this business experience coming in here. So what was your viewpoint, Haider, of coming in with leads and then scaling up and investing in your leads, and how well did that pay off for you and early on in your business?
Well, it goes back to, and I bet you Harry would kind of could connect to this as well. It's if I'm starting a business with $0, like I'm not buying into a business, and I have the potential of making hundreds of thousands of dollars, how much time and money am I willing to invest into it? The rule of thumb used to be, if you're going to buy a business, and I said this last week, if you're going to buy a business that's making 100,000 consistently, then you're looking to invest what, $200,000-$300,000. So, buying $100 in leads, $500 in leads, $1,000 in leads, and getting it such instant, after issue 48-hour return on investment, it's kind of, as long as you put forth the effort, it's easy.
Sure. Harrison, you hear what Haider has to say there, and we know anybody on this panel can buy leads. Anybody can invest in $1,000 in leads, but then it comes to the activity part. So now that we're talking about resources, what type of activity were you putting in the beginning to again have this fast start? Because Symmetry knows that people who win fast around here, they last. And so what is your viewpoint as far as the activity and kind of gearing up to put in this massive action?
Well, people count, relationships matter. One of the first things I did was drive down to Virginia for the producers conference they held in October last year. And I met with Rossum, and I learned about 2030s. I learned about 50/50s. I learned about all the different approaches that we use. After I learned all that, Kev, then I started putting in maybe 10 hours a week on the phones, maybe 20 hours a week into the actual activity associated with working with clients, right? At least another 8-10 hours a week to support working with the underwriters, right? To back it up. And then I started recruiting seriously in June. I was using smaller numbers way back when, mostly because I didn't listen. Scott always says to me, God gave you 2 ears and one mouth, right? Yeah, I didn't listen. I wanted to be really good at this before I brought people in to develop their skills. You don't need to do that. You have people that are in your organization that'll support your efforts and help you to grow. But I work my butt off is what it comes down to. That's all I know how to do in my life. I'm going to do something, I'm going to give it my all.
Kev, you're muted.
Muted. Hey, I just got a text to get closer to your mic, Harrison, next time you go out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry
Scott,
about this.
So Scott, running a schedule and staying on the schedule, all you guys, like obviously top producers, you were Symmetry's November to Remember winner in 2016, top app writer in 2016. So let's talk about schedule, planning out your schedule and the work that's involved. What are some key ingredients that you feel led you to, go that distance? Because this is a 4-month contest, this Champions Cup. It's a marathon. It's going to take discipline, and obviously it's going to take a schedule to stick on that schedule.
Yeah, I think everybody on the panel is going to pretty much tell you, how vital it is to schedule. But I'll just say this, expect the unexpected when your schedule pops up, because every week you're trying to win your day, right? And it doesn't always go as expected. And kind of what I did is I just kind of reverse engineer by saying, if I'm normally buying $400 worth of leads a week, I'm buying like $800 or $1,000 a week in leads. And my goal was, instead of 15 appointments a week, it was 30. I just doubled down on it. And sometimes the unexpected happens where I just had a bad dialing session on Friday. Saturday didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Now, Monday, Tuesday, I'm just looking to recover. I'm going to do whatever I can to recover that whole week, because the unexpected is going to happen with your schedule. So if you really want to win, that's kind of have that mindset is, hey, just expect it to be unexpected.
Yeah, And one of the things is buy-in around here. It's a long schedule. Y'all are, married, have families. And, from a coaching point, you could be communicating and getting the best miracle grow to grow your business here at Symmetry. But then you go home and the partner is not on your team. The partner does not understand why you might be working. Raise your hand. I'll just ask you real quick, Scott, how many hours a week were you working, in earning this contest, November to remember? How many were you working
Well,
on?
I was constantly trying to just win my day. And then, like you can't win the Super Bowl by winning just all the games at once, right? You got to go day by day by day by day. And it started getting more and more as you're kind of making your way through it. And you start to see the leaderboards and all those things. Your mind starts going to like, hey, I could win this thing. And so I don't know, at the end there, I think the deadline was Friday at midnight, 9 o'clock. That night, I think I kind of tapped out and said, hey, I probably made it to my last house for the night, So I don't know. It could have been 60, could have been 70 hours in those weeks that I was putting in.
All right, Haider, on average, how many hours a week, in the beginning were you putting in to get this momentum to earn these trips? By the way, with Haider here, he earned all 3 carrier kickers, man. Good for you, dude. Hat trick.
Thank you.
We'll throw our hats into the ring for you, man. So how many hours were you working to get this?
I mean, it was in that stride, that first 90 days, probably around 60 to 70 hours a week.
Nice.
It was like how the Martin Master does huddles and everything. I was on a huddle at 7 a.m. and I was doing appointments till 9 p.m. That was Monday through Thursday, and then Friday you had 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then Friday that, and then Saturday you had the nice dials and appointments from that 9 a.m. till 2, and so it was I had to keep telling my wife, remember, we're going to Costa Rica.
We'll get to that in a minute. Eleanor, how many hours? I mean, lacrosse all-star, how many hours you putting in to get your shot down there and earn this contest?
I would say probably I start my days at 8 o'clock. Since I'm on the West Coast, my huddle time is 11 for our East Coasters, 8 o'clock for me. So I'll start my day at 8 o'clock sharp, and then usually my last appointment is 8 o'clock, given the fact that I sell in several different time zones. So that's what my cutoff is. So, and then Saturday mornings are sacred. I can't tell you how much I love my Saturday morning dial sessions, especially with the team. Doing it on a Zoom call with the rest of your team is just, I look forward to it. I'm not an early morning riser, but for Saturday morning, I'll get up and dial with my crew.
I'm glad you clarified your Saturdays are sacred from a dialing point and not eating grape nuts and looking at the sunrise. So that's good. Debbie, how much you guys so is it if I can do my elementary math, Eleanor, about 60 plus hours a week working?
Yeah, 12-hour days, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday from 8 a.m. to at least 1 or 2.
Okay, let's go to Debbie. How about with you? Entrepreneur, you had the solar company, built businesses. You came into this, your attitude is like, we're going to have to work. What was your time on the phones and working?
No, easily that. We work a little bit later shift, but it's still all relevant. We were easily putting in 12-hour days. And it was just that mindset going into it, that there's going to be a sacrifice now to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish. And I love some of the things that have been mentioned, like that strategic planning and just knowing you've got to work off of a calendar, having everything in that calendar, whether it was our personal time, our gym time, our family time, or all of that. But the 12 hours for work was still in there.
Yeah.
So it just meant we slept a little bit less and it was what it was, but we were excited. So it was good.
That's great. Kim, I was talking to you earlier and you said, I had no backup plan. I was all in. So I know Spivey and Ellison, they love Clemson football. That's Dabo Sweeney's, one of his taglines, we're all in. So you were all in with your schedule, single mom, just working it out. How many hours were you putting in?
Purdy, I can't just let that slide, bro. I mean, come on. I'm going to tell Dad right now.
Yes, to answer your question. So I had my son and I was thinking about it. I was running Costa Rica from the end of September to December. So it was during the holidays as well. And I remember we were also very heavy in homeschool because all the schools were closed in the area. So I remember one week I would have my son here with me, balancing, making phone calls while he was on his classes. And then at night I'd be dialing. And then on the weekends, I would work a couple hours and then spend the time with him. But then the following week, I was just all working same as everybody else pretty much on here. But then my weekends when I wasn't with my son, I was just booking pretty much all day appointments, all day Saturday, and probably a couple on Sundays to be able to make up for the next work week when I wouldn't be able to do so. And I even remember getting carriers to sign off on those last policies I needed. My sister was driving home with me and I'm calling carriers, issue my policy, issue my policy.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So we all know you guys worked a lot of hours, right? So what are we taking away from this is like your commitment, you had belief, you invested in resources, leads, you're putting in a lot of hours, not to mention dials. I mean, just to save us some time, you're all putting in 400, 300 dials a week. Haider, you said you're putting in 700 dials a week, start out in 50-cent leads when you started out. So you're putting that in. But now the point is managing your schedule, and then it's a sacrifice. Obviously, you guys sacrifice, but now we have our partner. Now we have our husbands, our wives, our boyfriends, our girlfriends. So now you're putting in all this work. And are they on the same team? Like, do they believe in your sacrifice? Are they essentially on your team? Haider, you mentioned that, the hat trick guy, that was not easy for you. You've been married for over 10 years and 2 daughters. And, talk to us, like, how did you, what was the turning point for getting your wife on the team and seeing the bigger picture, why this was important to sacrifice?
To her and I, it's, everything is, you have to do X amount of hours and X amount of effort to get to an end point. And the end point is getting out of personal production and having a large enough team. And it's, do you want to have that time within a year time frame or a year and a half, or do you want it to stretch it out over 5 years? And that was kind of like the overall drawn vision between her and I. And so that's where she and I, very open communication, very clear communication. Yes, there's going to be ups and downs, okay, in everything, okay, exhaustion and whatnot. But her and I were constant open communication. And I will tell you this, it doesn't hurt when I walk down from my office down the stairs and I says, oh, just help the family. And, just a little high five right in the middle of the kitchen as we walk down,
Right.
So to her, it was like, all right, it was worth 12 hours of being basically a single mom.
Nice. Yeah, it's getting them on your team. Scott, Harrison, getting your wives on the team. You've both been top producers. What advice would you give Harrison as far as getting your loved ones to buy in on the sacrifice and the effort that it's going to take to really get going early?
I would say it's critical to be transparent. You got to let your spouse know exactly what's involved, your reasoning for it, where you're going to go, and get your spouse to be on the team with you in terms of what you hope to accomplish. That's the most important part in working as a team.
Nice. Scott, again, your wife, Kelly, there being such an instrumental part in your success. We have agents that sometimes, what is your advice as a managing vice president here when you have an infant producers having some success and then all of a sudden their schedule starts, they're weighing off their schedule, they're kind of messing up on the activity and the long-term aspect that you're going to need to have success here if you're trying to earn these contests. Was there anything that worked well for you to kind of have this separation, but yet this unity, what you needed to do?
Well, you mentioned this earlier, and my very first contest, I didn't even realize I was in it. It was by accident that I started really competing, because I never really looked at the big picture, like competing with Symmetry, right? Other agents around the country. And so it kind of happened by accident. You actually called me and said, "Hey, you know what? You advanced to the second round of March Madness." What? Oh, really? Oh, well, that was on the radar now. Now it's on the radar. So it was very accidental. And then so I made sure it was going to be very intentional the next time. I'm going to be so intentional about it. And I let everybody know, like, I apologize, but Daddy's going to be working some late hours here. I'm going to be out doing some really heavy lifting here, because it was just important to me. It was just, I can't tell you how important it was for me to put on that hat there for that time and just carry the flag. It was awesome.
Which really leads us to now the impact. One of the things that earning this contest, how did it have an impact on your business, 9 months, a year later, and writing your story? We hear that a lot. I know, Debbie, you hear that from Matt and Brad all the time, as far as writing your story and how that can pay dividends for you. Let's go to that. Debbie, since I'm mentioning you, like, how important was this contest to you, or just having success early in the beginning? And what advice would you have to others, how to write your story and so they can have a bigger impact?
Yeah, it's absolutely huge, because, like I said, for us coming into this, even though we'd had successes with other things, here we are aiming for this hat trick, right? And it's completely seems unattainable. No experience, no background, nothing. And when you think about building a team, it's all about credibility. So for us, it was just, we have to lean on their credibility until we can get our own. But that story is huge. And it gave us even more tapped into our why, of why we were doing this in the first place. But I know that story is just instrumental in growing your business. After 4 months and being able to say, "Hey, listen, we'd never done this, but there's a system that works. It's in place. If people will just follow that system, they don't have to have experience in this. And you can go and put yourself in a spot where you can put $100,000 into your bank account." That's having that story was massive. So I lean on that with my agents, is you've got to create that success story for yourself. Lean on the one that's before you so that you have the belief and you build that, but then go out and create your own so you add that credibility to building your team.
And that takes getting out of your comfort zone. And Harrison, getting your wife Linda on the team, as far as earning Costa Rica, you had to go through some stuff, and we're all going to be stretched with our schedule, with investing in our business, with communicating with our mentors. But your wife, Linda, just share with us real quick what she had to do to go to Costa Rica, and how has that impacted, again, your business here?
Well, it's an interesting quickie. Linda hasn't been on an airplane in 30 years. She had a very bad experience when she was younger, and she was scared of flying. And at the same time, I was a lifelong smoker until July. She said to me, "If you quit smoking, I'll get on the airplane." I said, "Done." So we went to hypnotherapy, and it worked for me. And after one session, I was done. I haven't picked up a cigarette since. And I looked at her and I said, "See, now you're in trouble." So she went to get the hypnotherapy, and we went to Costa Rica together. We did it so that we could fly and not be hampered down with other stupid things like finding a place to grab a cigarette and all that stuff, right? So now we can travel. And that trip to Costa Rica with George and Janet and with Scott and Donna, man, that was just so much fun. I can't begin to tell you. And it builds our relationships in our upline. Our people, we're very tight. We like to think we are. Okay. And we're excited about Playa Blanca that's coming up. And I'm also excited about the Mediterranean that's coming up. So we're just thrilled to be on a part of the organization. We feel honored and blessed, certainly honored to be asked to speak today, Kevin. And I appreciate that very much. So I'm excited. And yeah, we did do some stuff, and it was not easy, and we're there.
That's great. Kimberly, your son, Zach, you sold him on going to Costa Rica, and, watching mama just kick some butt here. The impact going after that trip, I always say to new agents coming in here, you can tell your friends and family, yeah, insurance is going great. Like all you guys doing great. And they'll be like, yeah, right. But then all of a sudden when they see pictures or where you have to, I know for Michelle and I was like, I'm looking for a sitter to watch our 4 kids. Then it's all of a sudden like, it's real, like, oh, you're going to Costa Rica. You really must be doing well. So any advice on, how worth it is? Is it really worth the sacrifice to bring your team in and earn these trips?
Oh, for sure. I mean, not even just to go back to Zach. I mean, that was huge for him because he saw me working. He saw me sacrificing. He saw me going to appointments. And I kept reminding him that, hey, I can do this, and almost to prove to him that you can set a goal and it can be achievable if you put in the hard work, And so having him on board and seeing other kids in Costa Rica, I think was huge. And so same with Harry, as you said about the Mediterranean, the same thing with Foresters. I mean, I tell him we're so close, we're going on this trip. And he's actually excited about it. When I go into appointments, he's like, okay, Mom, you got this, or, go help a family. So I think it's really important for people just coming in that not only can you get your family excited and on board on things, but also how it helps you so much and just believing who you are, and just that here at Symmetry, goals are possible. I mean, I've never been able to hit so many goals as I have being here, and just putting in that hard work and doing the activity and just failing fast sets you on this trajectory for the rest of your career here, and being able to do that and replicating the system. And then now when you're recruiting, I can tell people, hey, I won this trip, and they're like, wow, that's pretty cool. It's like, and you can do it too. And now we have the slingshot that you can go through all of these commission levels so quickly, and 10% on top of that. I mean, it's amazing. This is a great time to come meet everybody at conference, and then they hear you being fired up and see that it's possible because they know you did it. So it's awesome.
Nice. All right, lightning round. We got a couple minutes left here. What we're looking for is a nugget. How are we going to get there? How are we going to be in your position of success right now in your new businesses growing and thriving here? And we'll start with you, Haider. What's a nugget? What do I need to do to earn a contract increase, to earn a contest? What do I need to do? What's one thing I should just focus on to have that success?
Get as many leads as possible, dial as much as possible. I don't know anything else other than that's all you have to do. And that's it. And call your upline every day.
But I'm terrible on the phone. I put in 100 dials and I stink here.
100 dials is not enough. You got to put about my first day was 350 dials, and I sat and dialed for 10 hours that day. Period. Okay. 30 dials, 50 dials is not enough. And by the way, if you're doing it with your own handheld phone, nope. Go get a dialer. Okay.
Who uses a dialer, by the way? Raise your hand. Okay. Yeah.
Come on. You guys got to be dialing more.
Yep. There you go. Great advice. Let's go to you, Eleanor. Out in San Diego, surfer girl. Come on. What's our advice?
Yeah, I think honestly, I started in June of this year. June 15th was my start date. So I'm probably the newest with the company on the screen. And honestly, it's a very special place to be because I know there's a vast majority of people who are either thinking about jumping into the business or are brand new and in this exact same season. And I think really being like radically brave and kind of taking your place, I don't know everything about financial planning, and I've just learned how to sell these products, and I'm following scripts, and I'm, following and jumping on huddles and national calls to learn through osmosis, right? But I feel like I'm so grateful for all the people who've paved the way for me to be here. And the way I can show my gratitude is honestly by being brave and taking advantage of everything they have to offer, even the contests to earn money to reinvest in the very business I am trying to grow. So expressing gratitude through action and being brave in those attempts is crucial to just building the self-confidence to be where everyone else on this screen is today. So I'm right there with you, and I encourage you to get after it.
Nice. Great stuff. Scott Summers, what's your advice, buddy?
Well, man, I just like kind of building on what Kimberly just said there a minute ago. It's like, we interview people a lot. They're like, I'm just looking for, like, I don't want a ceiling. No ceiling. We're constantly given things to strive for and push for here. But like winning one of these contests, I got the chance to go to Finland. I never even been to Europe. I went to Finland for a week. But it's kind of like winning the Super Bowl ring and being in the Hall of Fame all at the same time. Like at that time, I had 8 people on my team, right? Here, this year I've had 120 writers on my team, right? And they get a chance to see this and relive this. I get a chance to kind of go back through this. It's such an honor to win one of these awesome trips. But here's a couple of quick things that you can apply. Practical application. This is just what I said. My motto through the whole thing. If I lose an appointment, people are going to port you. People are going to no-show you. Lose an appointment, put 2 on your books. Because if you think about it, you're not just gaining one. You don't have to gain 1 appointment back. You lost the AP for that time frame. So you lose an appointment, book 2 appointments. And this is not a skills test. This is a don't get outworked test. I don't care how much skills you have, how much you know about insurance. Don't get outworked. I'm just not going to get outworked. I'm not going to lose because I got outworked. Just kind of have that mentality. And I found my way into my first real contest and being a part of it and pushing to myself to win by accident. I didn't even know, but then I became intentional. So are you an accident waiting to happen, or are you an intentional waiting to happen? Whatever you want, decide.
Nice. Love it. Love it. Harrison, give me something I can use that I can hang out at poolside with all you guys.
Okay. It's a complicated business. First, we acquire the resource, we call the lead, we set the appointment, we do the appointment, we take care of the people, and then wash, rinse, repeat. It's a very complicated business, right? So the trick to me is go to work, get on the phone, dial 500-600 times a week, go to work. If you want to earn one of these things, that's all it takes. Okay. I am not at all pretty. Look at me. I'm not the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree. I'm just a guy who knows how to go to work. So that's my advice.
There you go. And, some people do tell me they think you're pretty, and more pretty now that you don't smell like a chimney, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I'm picking on him. He's part of my, we're friends. Debbie, let's go, man.
Love it. I would say, add to everything that they've said. It's so perfect, but be strategic. If you're going to take the time to write a policy, do the work to make sure the policy is going to get placed. Do the work to call the risk assessment. Do the work to actually go through the paper application. We have a binder of every paper application, and I read through that. That's a process that I do that prior to actually writing the application, making sure I'm not going to waste my time. When we got done in our, after our 4 months and reaching that hat trick, we only had 3 declines. And the only reason we had the 3 is because I was pushing and I was just praying to God that carrier might just have a good day and give it to me because I needed it there. And in a year of business here, I've only had 5. Okay. It's just making sure that the work you're going to do, you want to get paid for it. Don't waste your time. So get to work and do the pre-work to make sure it's actually going to pay.
Great point there, Debbie, because all this contest, Champions Cup, is based on
placement, right?
Business,
all
right?
placement.
Yeah, and same that you guys all earned your trip to Costa Rica based on net place business. So definitely. And how do I learn how to check on my pending business and get it placed? Where do you think I can go get some answers?
Well, that's why you have coaches.
Right?
Yeah, that's why you have coaches.
Cool. Well, I appreciate all you taking the time out today to pour into us in Symmetry here. And what does it take to hang out with the cool kids, Costa Rican style, man? Really appreciate it. Pura vida, as they say. Jimmy Spelldenter would definitely be proud. Everybody here stepping up, representing, giving us, sharing great information. Appreciate it. We'll see everybody real soon. I'm going to turn it over to the Alabama Slammer, Todd Spivey. There it is.
And appreciate you all pouring in, guys, and really giving the key nuggets, not just the inspirational side, which is so important, but the actual how-tos. I love it. And a lot of it comes down to just pushing yourself to do something that maybe you didn't even think was possible. And these folks are great examples of that. And Mr. Purdy, thank you for coming on and hosting this. And to everybody out there, good luck. great contest, and look forward to celebrating the life of all of our dear friend, Mr. Jimmy, next week, guys. Everybody take care.